on this episode of Bot vs. Con.
Hey, what's going on, Bot vs. Con fans? As always, I'm Bobby the Bot.
And I'm James the Con.
And as Lorenzo just said, this is the Devastator Wars. But before we jump into that, let's say thank you to our official sponsor, The Chosen Prime, where you can find some of these figures already out or on pre-order, or maybe they're coming. So start checking them out now. Also to our members, really appreciate it. And to our subscribers, again, we wouldn't be doing this without you. So with that, I think we should just jump into it. What do you think, James?
Let's kind of describe what this video is. So this video is going to be the introduction to the Devastator War. So we're going to be showing off the previous Devastator War. So there was two of them. This is the third one, believe it or not. And then we'll be getting into the current contenders. We'll be doing comparisons and individual reviews and stuff later on down the road. So this is your intro video. So if you're still unsure about what's going on, we hope to be able to help you out with that.
Yeah.
So
now
now
it's going to be a long journey.
Yes, it is multiple years. So let's start and let's just get right into it.
Let's do it.
This is the Devastator Wars. Make sure to subscribe and consider becoming a member.
So let's get knee-deep into this green and purple wars, and let's start off with the previous contenders or the previous wars. So the first one that I remember was way before your collection was even a glimmer in your eye, and that was about 2010 or so, and it started off with TFC Hercules. So this was honestly groundbreaking at the time. Third party was just beginning, and to have a combiner so early on was really cool. It's chug scale, so it was quite small, but at the same time, it fit in. So where I'm a little mad about is I didn't jump on the SG train and get this when it was on sale for like $170.
Hell, I didn't even know about it, so I couldn't even get mad.
It was only a few years ago, honestly.
Wow. It looks good.
Yeah, it looks good for the time. I know there were some stability issues and stuff, but it is a quite good little figure. So if anybody out there has it, let us know what you think about it to this day.
Yeah. Okay,
let's pause because my cat decided that he got stuck in the room.
I'm sorry, you should let it in.
Yeah, well, just because he wants in, you don't let him in.
Well,
hey,
cute.
Steph.
I don't want him to use the bathroom everywhere.
It'll be fine.
Okay.
Can we just start this whole beginning section over again?
Yeah.
Because I might forget. I'm not going to edit this tonight, obviously, because it's not coming out tonight. So, and you got to yawn anyways.
All right, so
3, 2, 1. Well, let's just get knee-deep in this purple and green monstrosity that are the Devastator Wars, and let's talk about the previous contenders first. So the first real war was before your collection was even a glimmer in your eye, and that was about 2010, 2011, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and started off with TFC Hercules. So this was a chug-scaled, at the time that's all we had, Devastator that was actually really good for the time. Now, what do you think of Hercules?
I guess if I take it back to then, I probably would have been amazed with it.
Yeah.
I do not have this in my collection, and I never really looked at it because I missed that war. It looks good though.
Yeah, I think this looks actually really good. And I was mad that I missed out on the SG colors. It was on sale, I believe, 4 or so years ago for only like $170 or something. And I really like these colors, and I hope, honestly, a little bit of into the future, I hope Mecha Invasion does an SG colors because it's so topsy-turvy. But we'll get to that when we do. Here, this is the best picture of the bot modes I could find. Honestly, I think they look kind of cool.
Yeah, I would have probably been in on this set several years ago. If I saw it now, I don't think I would jump at it, but it looked good for the time.
I think you would pick this one up in these colors.
Probably not for the price they're asking right now.
Well, it's sold out everywhere. So yeah. But I think at a reasonable price you would pick it up. But who was he fighting against? That would have been Make Toys giant type or Green Giant, I think he was called. This thing is the one I had. So I had this. This was my first Devastator. Great figure. I actually really like this one.
It looks fine as well. I think I like the previous one a little bit more.
Really? See, I like this one. This one is more blocky and more sturdy. To me, it looks less cartoony.
Well, I like the cartoon, so
Yeah. I feel Hercules looked more like it looked like Bakugan or Pokemon type of thing. That's what that reminded me of. While this actually looks like a Transformer.
No, this one does look more serious, if you want to say. I just think I like the way the bots looked. The combiner looked like the shape and the colors. It was a little bit more green. I see a lot of black in this, and the black's kind of throwing me off.
That might be why I like it.
Yeah.
They were the first ones to do an alternate color. I couldn't find a lot of individual pics of the bots, and mine's far packed away in storage. But I really remember liking this long haul because he was so different from what we're used to seeing. And it worked. So I think this thing was great. I think you would have picked this up in a heartbeat if this was all you had. You'd have probably picked up both, let's be honest.
Yeah. I don't really like this. If that's long haul in the middle there, I don't really like the bot mode, but
it spoiled me because I want all long hauls to be short and stubby like this, and they're not.
No, yeah, I wouldn't have liked that aspect, but I probably would have picked it up, especially in this alternate color.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Generation Toys Gravity Builder, which I think is one of the better looking Devastators of the second second Devastator Wars. But honestly, even today, I really like the way this looks.
Yeah, I really like the way this one looks as well. So much that I have the Jinbao version of this in my collection.
And speaking of the Jinbao version, there's a ton of KOs of this. There's some upgrade sets for it. I honestly like the NBK ones, which are the yellow and the green ones off to the side, because I like the different window colors. The orange looks very striking against the green, and the blue looks good with the yellow as well. So the one I had for years was the green NBK one because it was like $110 or something like that when I got it. But I think these are actually really good for KOs. Yeah,
they really are, and so much so they made an upgrade kit for it. With the
for the Jinbao one.
For the Jinbao one, yes, and it made it look exactly G1 to me, so I love it.
Toy World then showed off their Constructor, which the combined mode looks really good. I really don't like the individual bots. I think they are all very ugly. Honestly, like compared to what we just looked at with what was it, Generation Toy, I think these go pretty bad. Not the combined. The combined mode looks really good though. But again, it uses faux parts, so you take and get them.
Yeah. So from what I understand, because I wasn't collecting when these were out, Toy World was the king. You know, when they came out with this, it
was split.
Okay.
There were the people that wanted the Generation Toys because it fit in with the combiners they had.
Okay.
Because that's what it was. But people like this one because it was the size and the look of the combined mode was more MP.
Okay. I definitely would have went with this one.
You would have picked both of them up.
Yeah, but this would have been the one I focused on.
You would have probably had this in combined mode and the other ones in bot mode.
Yeah, I do love the way this looks so much that I actually got the weathered version of this.
Oh, you got repaint. You mean like all the million repaints they have?
Yes, I have the one on the bottom, the weathered look, and there's so much paint on that thing that it is very hard, and tabs and things break because they're so stuck together, not from the paint drying, but like they just tab in really well, and you have to be very careful with it. But yeah, I would have struggled with all these repaints.
I think you would have gotten them all. Maybe not the two off to the side that are very, very similar.
Yeah, on the right.
One has orange and one has blue, and that's the only thing between them. But the rest of them, you definitely would have gotten yellow and orange, foreshadowing. You probably would have gotten the comic colors, but I don't think you would have gotten the clear one.
I probably would have passed on the clear one.
But it looks good. It looks good for clear figures, though.
It does, but I probably would have passed on that. I love the one that looks like it's why can't I think of it? Looks like the light's shining on it.
The cell shaded.
Cell shaded, yes. I love the way that looks.
Yeah, I think all of these look good.
Yeah.
And how could we forget Hasbro's Combiner Wars?
This is the one that actually got me back into collecting Hasbro. The Combiner Wars in particular. I actually really loved this one. And even though Long Haul looked crazy weird, and I didn't like how Mixmasters, how the foot looked on Mixmaster. I didn't really know about kits and all that stuff because, like I said, I just got back into it. But I thought this was a great rendition of Devastator coming from G1.
I'm glad to hear that. As somebody who had the Make Toys Green Giant or whatever it was called, I looked at this and said, this is the most ugly thing I've ever seen, and skipped on it. And I'm happy I did. I still think it's ugly. I'm glad you have fond memories of it. It's fine, though, for what it is. And you could go get KOs of this to this day. So if you want it, go ahead and pick it up. And all the other ones, I think you can still pick up besides the TFC Hercules SG colors. The Giants still, though the one I got, Make Toys, they're still selling that for $300 to $400, which blows my mind.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's small. It's the same size as the Computron that you have.
Yeah.
So it's not a big figure.
Yeah. Very unhappy about that.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all of the previous contenders for the Devastator War. So why don't we move into the new ones? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Start off with X-Transbots. And I know this is probably your most anticipated one from us just talking. These are in no particular order as well. So I just put them in here as I saw them. And first we've got Big Load, which looks great in the toy deco, but I absolutely despise it in the Toon deco, but what do you expect? It's about $170 for the Toon deco, which blows my mind, and $110 for the toy deco.
I was pleasantly surprised with this figure. It looks amazing to me in bot mode and alt mode. The combined mode looked a little weird, and so that kind of threw me off. I still don't really know how it's going to combine, but I loved both versions of this. It was a very solid figure. The transformation wasn't too wonky, and it had, pretty much everything I would want in a long haul.
Yeah, so I'm glad you liked it. Next, we have Ground Bite or Scrapper, and again, toy and Toon, and very minimal differences, honestly, between the two. Did he have a blue face in the cartoon?
I don't remember him having a blue face.
Because that's kind of weird looking. Either which way, I do think this is honestly probably the best Scrapper out there.
This Scrapper, again, these haven't been released yet, but I think this looks very good. I love both versions as well, the Toon and the toy. I'm a little put off by the ground break in combined mode. I know that they say that's for stability purposes, but I don't really want to have that.
You don't have to. You can take it off.
I mean, I'm sure you can, but when it was mentioned that it's to aid in stability, that worried me. Mm-hmm. Because these are big bots, clearly, and if you're saying that it's for stability, then more than likely it's not something you're going to want to take off. You can take it off, but if there's stability issues and that's why they made this, then more than likely I don't want to take the chance of not having it. And that's unfortunate if there is any stability issues.
Yeah, and with this figure, this character, he's kind of like high heels. He always has been, and that's probably why. Yeah.
But I think this all around, I think the bot mode looks great, the alt mode looks great, and the leg mode, combined mode looks good.
Yeah, I agree. And they showed off the yellow and orange recolors already. So I know you'll be getting at least 4 of these Devastators.
This is painful. Wow. Yeah, this is. I haven't seen these pictures yet, so this is the first time of me seeing these.
We were talking about it, but it was at some TFCon that they showed these off. So,
or maybe I
think you were there when they showed it, but
maybe I forgot.
Maybe you were sleeping because it was the first time you fell asleep at a TFCon third party demo.
Maybe I was asleep. They look good. There's literally it's just the same thing in orange and yellow, but they look good.
Yeah, well, it's not the same. The yellow has like a blue color, and the orange is like I think a lighter purple.
Purple. Yeah, I'm sorry. What I meant by it's.
Oh, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I think they look great though. Honestly.
Yeah, and I've never had a yellow or orange Devastator, so
well, you might get more than one now.
No.
But this is the one that I'm actually interested in. We've got where is it? Dig Pig, and it's a remold, and this is Scoop, and it's already up for pre-order for $150. I think this thing looks really good, and I wouldn't mind picking this up just because it's an obscure character. We'll see. I'll wait till you get it and see if it crumbles in your hands, but I do think this looks really good.
Yeah, while they're remolding it, I wonder if this will combine with the others or if they will do something like, an
Autobot team.
Not so much even that, just, it just doesn't combine. It has the same mold, but it doesn't necessarily have the combiner part.
It's about $10 cheaper.
Yeah.
And Scrapper, and it comes with 2 Target Masters. So I wouldn't doubt if they pulled out some of the combining gimmicks to get the cost down.
Yeah, because this is a totally separate character who was the Target Master, so it just looks like they're reusing the mold. But I wonder again if they'll allow it to combine.
Yeah, I agree. Next, we've got Razor, which is Bone Crusher. Putting together the slideshow has made me realize the Bone Crusher is just my least favorite Constructicon because I detest this, but I'm sure the toy colors will look good. Yeah,
it looks fine. It looks like Bone Crusher. I think the arm looks really good. I think the arm is my favorite part. The combiner arm looks like really, really good. The alt mode looks good. It looks clean for the most part. I love the vents on the back, the back side, and I like the grill in the front. The bot mode, it looks like Bone Crusher. It looks like he's in a bodysuit.
I don't really like it, so it is what it is. But they've also showed on Teardown, which is their hook, and these are obviously 3D renders. I don't know if they're going to do anything with the white parts of his leg, but that looks really bad, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they just haven't finished it. Yeah, because
I hope that's the case.
It makes no sense because even for the combined mode, his right foot should be the left part of the car or the crane. So it's just
you're right.
Painted.
So it would be colored in.
It's just not painted. So, but I think this as well. I think this render looks very, very good. I like the windows. I like how they show in the combined mode, and in particular, the hook looks realistic. It looks very good. The details on it look very, very good.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on to, I think, X-Transbots' main competition, and that's Fans Toys. And look, he already has to get a sip of water because he knows when Fans Toys comes out with their repaints, he's going to have 3 yellow ones in his collection. Let's move on. And I really don't like their names the Fans Toys gave them, but we have Gary.
I like the names named after architects. So
is that what they are?
Yeah.
I take it back. I didn't know that. I'm not an architecture major, so I do like their names now. Now that there's a reason, I just thought they called him Gary the Snail. Okay, continue. That's cool.
So the bot mode on this looks amazing. The alt mode, I think, suffers. I have this figure, and dealing with this figure is actually okay. There's only like really one part that it's a little troubling getting pieces kind of slid under this little part, whatever, and it deals with the arms. But once you do it the first time, it makes it easier. After that, the combine mode, there's a lot of things to kind of tuck and flip, and but once it's connected, it's very, very secure. And granted, there's a piece that is added for the back, which you can the back two heels, and the storage of it gives it an even bigger backpack. But at least there's storage. But once it's there, it's solid. It is a solid leg, and it's big. It's a very big leg. So I do like it, though.
And we'll probably be doing a review on this part of the Combiner or Devastator Wars, so stay tuned. I do have a question, though. Is his hand a different green than the rest of him?
You would ask me that.
Because that's what this looks like.
It does look like it. I don't remember offhand. I can't say yay or nay.
All right, well, stay tuned when we show this figure off.
When we pull it out, we'll go through that.
Then we have Wright, who I think looks a lot better, honestly. I think this is a phenomenal bot mode, phenomenal alt mode. It doesn't have that weird Lego look to it.
It's very clean.
It's not actually very clean, so I'm looking over here because that's where the screen is. And the front of it is actually very open.
Of the alt mode?
Of the excavator mode.
I don't know.
Because I could see straight through and see purple.
I'm not a construction type guy. I never liked Tonka toys and things like that, so I don't know how these are compared to what they look like in reality. When I meant clean is the lines are smooth. Unlike,
yes, you are correct about that.
That's the part I was talking about. So if you're able to see through it, I'm assuming you don't do that on a real life one. But I don't know how it's supposed to look. It reminds me of the G1 toy, so I think they hit home with that.
Yeah. And the combined mode looks phenomenal.
Yes, the arm looks amazing. And I'm looking at the wheels on the alt mode and then the wheels that are on the arm, and they look different.
So they're not the same thing.
Yeah, so I wonder how that's kind of done.
You could look, if you look at the arm, you could see the treads on the alt mode are in the forearm.
Yeah, I just noticed that. Okay, so it looks like it's a faux part for the wheels, but I think that it makes it look like it's a full combiner. So I like that too.
Yeah. And lastly, we have Hook. I don't think they have a name for this thing yet. I want to see how this combines. All those little flaps on the bottom of it are very intriguing, and maybe not in a good way. Because that looks like it would be hard to like go in there and like clip it in, But other than that, the figure looks fine. I don't like Hook's feet, but again, I'm just learning which Constructicons I like and which I don't.
Yeah, the combiner parts, they do look kind of weird. It looks like there's some hands that are kind of,
and like, how does that work? I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I am too. I'm sure there's clips and tabs to really secure it, and maybe these are, just parts that just kind of tuck in or something like that around it. I don't know. Because these aren't in color, I can't really see how good the details are in the render on the renders, but I think it looks really good as well. The details, the layers of bits, some coming to the foreground, and everything look really good. The wheels look really good. The hook again on the crane looks really good. The Devastator head looks good. I like it. I like the way this looks.
Yeah, I don't think it looks bad, but I think you are going to like it, especially in 3 colors.
And if you look at the hook on the Devastator or in the combined mode, it looks like the hook can be positioned through a couple of different ways. Like on the very bottom one, it looks like it's very flat. And then if you look at the top one, it looks like it's angled and then it goes back. Do you notice that?
Yeah, I think so. But it's hard to tell with these pictures, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it just looks like it's at different angles. So that's kind of cool if you can do that. Maybe there's a reason for it.
Maybe. But let's move on to Mecha Invasion. Let's completely flip everything on its head.
Literally.
And the first 2 are already out. Both of us have it, so expect something on this in the future. We've got I forgot the names of these ones, but we got Mixmaster and Scrapper, I believe.
Yes.
Scrapper? Yeah. So I like the figures. Stay tuned for more information on them. Great little set. For the price. For the price. It's only about 95 or so each.
For the set.
For the 2 of them.
Yeah.
95 you're correct. Yes. That could have been confusing. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very unique way. We're seeing legs become arms on the combiner. Excuse me. So that's new and different. They definitely don't take the G1 aesthetics into consideration here in terms of the bot mode. But these are fun figures.
Yeah, I like the different take on it, and the slew like we just looked at of G1 designs. They literally said we're not only going to make them not look like G1, but Mixmaster is now an arm. And I like that type of creativity.
It's very creative.
Yeah. Next, we have the next 2, which is Long Haul and Hook. And honestly, I really like these 2. I do wish Long Haul had more purple on them, but whatever. I think these look great, though.
Yeah, these look good as well. I'm waiting on mine to arrive, so again we can continue these storylines here. The alt modes I think on these look really good. The combined mode is not my favorite.
We'll talk about the combined mode in a little bit.
Okay, excuse me.
So just talk about the figures for now.
So yeah, so these look very good though. I think I like what they're doing with them.
I agree. Next up, I didn't even know they showed these off. I don't know where they showed them off at, but we've got the last 2 limbs, Scavenger and Bone Crusher. And again, they look really cool. I like what they did with Bone Crusher with having the shovel become knees, like knee pads. I think that's really unique.
Oh gosh, I was looking at this totally wrong. I was looking at Bone Crusher as the other one. But
I only see the thing sticking off his back.
I just saw that.
I'm assuming that's him.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, and it looks like, and maybe I missed it, but it looks like Bone Crusher has a little light on his head, like a little mining light.
I'm glad you said minor because I saw Doctor.
Oh,
and that didn't make sense.
Yeah, I think it is kind of cool that he has the little kneecaps on and everything.
And it differentiates them because they have really similar legs normally, so there's a little bit of variety between the 2.
Yeah, and yeah, because they actually look like they repurposed the legs.
They look like twins.
Yeah, they really do. The midsection looks the same as well.
Different details here and there, but more or less the same.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm very interested to see what these look like in color and what their alt modes look like as well, because these. So far as a set, these are shaping up to be a good looking set.
Yeah. And here's the combined mode. So I cut off the legs because technically he's standing on Long Haul's legs and it looks funny. But something that we also wanted to mention was these will have Grimlock as a torso. So didn't show that off just because we don't know what colors it's going to be. But there is like this image right here with Grimlock. I'm very interested in how that shapes up. Like, I want to see what that is. But we can really see the Scavenger and Bone Crusher as legs. It's weird, but I think that's kind of what this set's supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't know where this came from. I'm assuming it's probably from the comics.
No, I think this came from their mind.
Oh, okay. Well then,
He's only had Prowl, I believe, as a member.
well then, even more so, this is very creative on their part. The combiner, you know, is okay. I like the different limbs, but I don't know if I necessarily like the way the combiner looks.
I think the combiner looks great, except for the feet. Having the toes is weird on a Devastator. But I think when we see it in color, it might make more sense. Because if you look at the original render that I have of all of them, that looks different from the ones that we've seen. The arms are different lengths. It's a little skinnier on the torso. It looks more proportional. So I think that might translate the more we see.
In the original, you're talking, isn't that the one with the wings that are kind of high?
No, that's the one with Grimlock as a torso.
Okay, that's what. Okay, yeah, that's the one I was. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, the gray render.
The gray on the side. The arms are stubbier. At least that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, they do look stubbier. The waist looks like this. The waist looks the same, but it could be just because of the angle. But yeah, I see what you're saying. The arms are definitely stubbier looking.
Yeah, so who knows what it's going to look like. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Moving on to Dreamstar Toys, aka 4 out of 5 QC issues on Superion. We'll see if they continue that trend with their Devastator. And this is the one that's out. We have Forklift Warrior, which is Scrapper, for about $150. Now, I think you have this figure. Has it crumbled into dust yet?
No, it has not. It actually feels really good in hand. I am in the process of transforming it. As we were getting ready to record, I had just started to transform it. It feels really good so far. I haven't got far in the transformation at all. Literally just moved the arms and clipped some stuff together, but the connections feel very solid so far. And where I was having a lot of my QC issues with the Superion was with the chest. And so just because there was some transformation you have to do with the chest, and I was just like, don't break. It's actually very solid, and it felt very good in hand to do it.
Good. I'm glad to hear that, because this thing does look good. There were some issues with the combined mode, which we'll talk about in a little bit, in my opinion. But as far as it itself, I think it looks really cool. I like that it's a different take on a foot, so I think this is kind of cool.
I like it as well. It looks like it's a more stable foot than, and when I say stable foot, meaning that it doesn't have, the original had Scrapper's arms, as the back support, and that's what we've seen kind of done over and over and over again. And this seems to give it a true foot with like a base and everything on there.
And I like that. And this is a better foot than the ones we just looked at with Mecha Invasion. Of course, different character becoming the foot, but still, right. I do think this foot looks better. But we'll see. We'll see when that one's in color and how it looks.
Yeah, I'll see tonight when I transform it.
Well, you don't know what Mecha Invasion looks like.
Oh, yes, I meant this one. I'll be able to feel it in hand, is what I meant.
Here are some other characters, and honestly, it's hard to tell who's who without seeing their alt modes. Well, I know it's Hook, at least. I'm assuming Long Haul.
Yeah.
And I can't tell what the last one is.
I'm thinking that's Bone Crusher.
That could literally be any Transformer, not even Constructicon.
Yeah. It's the tank.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it kind of looks like that. But they all look good. And yeah, anything to say about these?
I think they look good. And honestly, what I do like is Long Haul is in proportion with everyone else. I never liked Long Haul being so much bigger than the other ones because it didn't seem that way on the tune.
And that makes sense. For me, I like size variety in my Transformers. So I think it's cool to have one member larger and then maybe the arms be a little bit smaller. I like that. It looks more interesting on a shelf than them all being the same height. But I understand if you're going with the tune, yeah, they were all the same size because that's just how they grew them. I also size chart back then.
I also like it because, in particular, with this set or with the Constructicons, because it wasn't like one robot formed the head and the torso. It was still sections of the Devastator were the sections of the robot. So it took two pieces to form the chest and head. So, you know, everyone being about the same size seems accurate to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For Devastator.
Yeah. But they are doing Prowlistator. So I don't know if I said that right. I don't even know if that's a real term. But we've got Prowl. This is the one figure I'm interested in the set because I don't have a Prowl. We've talked about that. I just want to know how big he is. Because if he's as big as the rest of them, which it kind of looks like he is in that image, then I'm out because I don't need a Prowl that's as big as Optimus.
Yeah, I didn't think about that until seeing this. Just how big Prowl would be.
And like a police car is the same size as a bulldozer.
Well,
and I know you got different things, you know, but it would be cool if he just like turned into a head, because then he'd be in, you know, proportion.
I was gonna say maybe the police car does something kind of like DX9's Carry, their Rodimus Prime. It, you know, you have the alt mode
down,
and he shrinks down in the alt mode, so it could be that.
I don't think so, because you see the lower two halves of the car, and they look huge.
I'm putting it out there that maybe, but that would be.
If that's the case, I'd still probably pick it up, because of the alt mode scale, I'm cool. So that would be awesome. I'd love it. Like do some lock. I know you don't know Lockdown, but Lockdown's thing is he's a car folded in half, and he's a deluxe, and then he folded in half this way, and he was like huge. For deluxe especially. So if he does something like that, I'd be interested.
Yeah, and then, you know, we also noticed that there's 8 members.
So there's even one more minus Prowl.
Yes. So that's what I'm curious about as well, who that's going to be.
And that's a good segue, because there's some prototypes of it, and you can see Hook is a leg.
Yeah.
In this, which is weird, and that's what I don't like. The two of them, they look, one's huge, one's skinny. But then you look at the other one that we saw where he looks very, very angry if you look at his face. And the Mix Master looks more in proportion.
Yes, I agree. It almost looks like his leg is turned around with Hook as a leg. Yeah. And again, I can't see from the side, so I don't know, but it doesn't look as full.
Mm-hmm. And maybe that's because it's a secondary mode or something like that.
Yeah. But it does look overall like a very solid figure, and solid meaning like it's a chunky bot all the way around, like the legs, arms on the one with Mixmaster as a leg, excuse me, the arms and legs and everything like is very proportionate with one another. Typically we'll see something that's just like everywhere's bulky, or you know, maybe the arms or the legs are bulky and it's the other limbs are opposite of that. But this one looks like it's consistent all the way through.
I love the angle on the treads.
For Bone Crusher?
For Bone Crusher, that gives him like a shoulder pad.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is really... I just noticed it. I don't even remember talking about this image. I'm sure we did. But I think that looks really cool. So.
I do too. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
Well, let's move on to Ocular Max, or MMC, which I think you're in for all of these so far. Am I wrong? Including the repaints?
This is the Devastator Wars and the Bobby and his wallet war as well.
You're gonna have to have like, he's gonna start making little barricades of barbed wire so you can't get to him when you're paying, right? Because I honestly think you're gonna get all of these so far. The next one maybe not, but probably we'll get that too. Anyways, let's talk about Ocular Max. And first we have Mixmaster. I don't believe this has a name yet. And he looks good. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. This is the most boring one to me out of all of them.
The most boring Devastator, or
the most boring set. Because this looks... This is going to sound so bad, and I don't mean it to be bad, so please take it with a grain of salt. This looks like a good Hasbro figure. Do you get what I mean? I did not mean that in a bad way. I haven't seen what Hasbro's Mixmaster looks like, but this, if you showed me this and said Hasbro's doing Mixmaster, I'd be like, oh, that actually looks really good. But I would expect more from MMC. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Okay.
You expect more for a Masterpiece scale figure.
And this could be completely accurate. And it could have the coolest transformation. I don't know. I'm just looking at renders. So that's, with what limited knowledge I have, that's my opinion.
I would agree with you. This doesn't excite me. It is probably my least favorite of the ones that we've talked about so far. And maybe we'll do a recap at the end or something, or in future videos of, where things line up at. This is probably this is like the safest look.
Good, very good word. This is the safest Devastator out there.
Yeah. This gets you, like, when you look at it, you say, oh, that's Mixmaster.
Exactly.
It's nothing, like, oh, or whatever. It's just like, oh, that's Mixmaster. Okay.
And it might be different if it's in person. There are, what's it called? Prototypes. I didn't add those in. We'll talk about that in the next episode. I don't know about Mixmaster, but prototypes are some of the other MMC ones, and I do think they look better. So, in hand. So, we'll see. But let's move on to Delete Us, which I do like the name. The alt mode is way better than Cang Toys, which I never thought I would say. I don't like the skinny thighs on this one, just like their blades. Just like their blades. Again, the bot mode looks like, hey, Hasbro's doing Devastator. Oh, wow. They actually knocked it out of the park. But not for MMC.
So, and the one thing about this, and this is also all-in-one.
Well, but Cang Toys I don't think is, but isn't it the same thing with X-Transbots?
We don't know yet.
Well, he didn't come out. Well, it's the same thing with Dreamstar, and I think that one looks better than this.
Yeah, I don't know if Dreamstar is all-in-one as well.
Well, at least this figure is.
So, like, the only one that I know,
there's no foot you attach on the bottom.
The only thing I know,
at least this character is all-in-one for Dreamstar.
Yeah. This is MMC, you mean?
No, that's what I'm saying. Dreamstar is all-in-one for this character, so is MMC.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so what I mean by this is that there's not going to be any extra parts or anything like Dreamstar didn't have any extra parts or anything in their Superion, which is cool.
I thought they had feet and hands.
Feet. Well, I'm sorry, I take that back. Feet. They did have feet and hands. I forgot about that. So I'm curious to see, if what we're talking about, the things that we don't like, play into the all-in-one factor. Because I'm with you, I don't like the
again. I don't think this figure is a good one to talk about the all-in-one factor, because Devastator was already all-in-one with this particular character.
I'm not talking.
That means the arms. The arms are the only part of Devastator that should be affected.
We haven't seen how the long haul looks yet, though. Like how they're gonna...
Exactly, but the arms, as far as the all-in-one feature, are the only part that should have been affected.
Yeah, I was not talking about it specifically about this character. I was talking about MMC's whole set in general.
Okay.
Saying that I forgot to mention at the beginning that MMC is an all-in-one combiner. So, things that they do or whatever, it's kind of combining parts into the character or into each figure. I wasn't specifically talking about this scrapper.
Well, honestly, if that affects it, then I probably wouldn't pick it up. And we have Bone Crusher, which again might be the best one, but it's Bone Crusher.
I think the alt mode on this in particular is probably the best one we've seen. in color at least. There's more details that could have been added, more realistic details that could have been added, like like a grill. Even though I like the purple on there, but if they had some details of a grill
Silver
or something like
something.
that, yeah. Or it could have still been purple, but just some more details in there. But again, I think this alt mode looks really good. The treads look good. The treads look real. Whether they roll or not, they still look real. There's some definition in there. And the alt mode, the bot mode, again, is safe. It looks like Bone Crusher. It looks spot on to Bone Crusher. It just doesn't look very exciting.
Yeah, I agree. Well, here it is in its combined mode glory, and it looks cool. He looks very hulking, but it doesn't speak to me.
I agree. This, and we saw it in person again.
And it's not as big as you want it either. It's only what, 14, 16 inches tall, somewhere around. It's the same size as their Bruticus, which I don't remember how tall that one is.
Yeah, this and here's what I was kind of getting at, with the details of it being kind of an all-in-one. We can see with Scrapper how the back heels, as you called it, look like the two arms that from the G1. It doesn't necessarily look really smooth or as detailed as, say, Fans Toys, for instance. Their Scrapper, it just looks like two blocks kind of back there, two green blocks back there. The shovel is just kind of like, okay, here's the shovel, but it looks very hulkish, very incredible hulkish. The colors look great. The purple looks great, but it's the head looks good. Looks kind of tuned, but it doesn't. If this came out 5 years ago, I think it would have been the best one. Going up against some of these other competitors, I think it falls short.
Yeah, I have to agree. One cool thing that I did want to talk about is how the treads on Bone Crusher could flip from green to purple, depending on what you like. Love variety. I do give them a point for that.
I also love how their guns store. You can see their guns on Devastator's back. Like if you look at
I see them.
Arms. That I like that aspect of it. The storage.
I do too. It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
But I'd rather just not have guns just hanging on the back.
I love the storage. It would have been nice if it tucked under somewhere, but I do
like if a flap opens up and you put it in and close it in or something.
But I do like that it stores at least somewhere, because some of the combiners, their weapons are
Piranacon from
yes
TFC. I have a big pile of guns just because you have nowhere to put them.
Yes.
So I do appreciate that. Moving on to 01 Studio, and honestly, I think if you're not going to get any of these, it's going to be the one we just looked at, Ocular Max.
We'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see, because these actually look pretty cool. We got Catastrophe and Tremor, and if I was getting a set that wasn't Mecha Invasion, this would be it. I really like the weirdness to them. I like the weapons on them. I think these look really cool.
This set is, I'm in for, as you said, the weirdness. This looks very unique. This looks like what their Cybertronian alt modes would look like. I mean, 8 wheels on long haul. This is what I would be in for, and I like the black in here. It almost looks like an exoskeleton or something like that. Like the details are really highlighted by the black accent.
I agree. The only black I don't like is on Long Haul's alt mode, right above the first wheel.
Yeah.
I wish that was green, because it kind of looks like the whole front is just pegged in, which it probably is, but still.
Yeah. I can see that.
Moving on, we've got their hook, which is Demolition. Again, I think this looks phenomenal. It does look a little short and stubby.
It does.
I will say that. But other than that, I think this looks really good.
And while it looks short and stubby, it also it looks thick all the way around. Like typically,
Yes.
you know, in the middle part of Hook, kind of gets, you know, hollowed out a little bit. Here he looks thick all the way, you know, from the front to the back, and I like it. This doesn't look as, you know, Cybertronian, but it still does look different from what we see as Earth vehicles of a crane, which I like.
I mean, there's a lot of windows on this thing, so this thing's huge.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like people or whoever, some sentient beings can be everywhere on it.
Exactly. And we have Earthshock, which is Bone Crusher, and this is probably my favorite Bone Crusher that we've seen. I don't know why they displayed it from behind, but whatever. I think this thing looks really cool. But it's weird because I just noticed it has treads, but then it has wheels. Did they put the wrong alt mode on these listings?
So this looked like Scrapper to me. Like if you look at the Scrapper's alt mode, this is what it looked like. I just looked at it.
We just looked at. That's what I'm saying. The alt mode.
Yeah.
But
go back and look. Go back if you.
I think it is. I think they had the wrong pictures for this. But either which way, let's just look at the bot then. I think this looks really cool.
It does. I also like how typically the Bone Crusher shovel, the blades kind of come up around his neck, and this one they're going down his chest.
Yes.
It gives it some. It makes he looks badass.
Yeah, I think this looks really cool. And same thing with these. We don't have better images, but we've got Scavenger and Mixmaster. These look great. Honestly, this is shaping up to be one of the better sets, in my opinion.
I'm trying to figure out how Mixmaster turns with 4 wheels in the front like that, but
he just rams right into you.
Yeah, there's no left or right turns.
Straight into you.
Straight lines.
I mean, realistically, they would probably have little levers that lift 2 of the wheels up while he turns, but that's a lot. That's going into speculation.
Maybe he crab walks.
You know what I just noticed? What's really weird? In the bot mode, the legs are reversed on the bottom. Do you see it? It's like they inverted the cab.
Yeah, the cab. Yes,
that's interesting. It looks cool.
So yeah, I see what you're saying. So the grill where it meets in the middle, now the middle part is facing the outside.
I like little details like that.
Yeah.
No.
I like the way Scavenger's treads are kind of uneven on the back.
They like fold up so to give him his knee.
Like it gives him a heel in the back, and then there's like some uneven grooves, and then it kind of goes uneven as it goes up towards his butt plate and stuff. But
it gives him like a calf as well, and then like glutes.
Yeah. I like that. Those, as you mentioned, details.
Really cool.
Yeah, this is looking really cool.
They're gonna make me get this, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Well, it's better than all of them, like you. And here is the combined mode. This looks very, very nice. It's kind of in between Dreamstar and like a G1. It's not too much either which way.
This looks very this looks like the new version of Toy World's Devastator.
Okay, I could see that. I do think this might be an all-in-one as well. I could be wrong. Maybe the arms aren't.
Yeah.
But then it looks like they have transformation joints on the back of them.
It does.
You see that?
Yeah.
So they turn into something.
Yeah, you can definitely tell with the legs. I mean,
the legs, yeah. And I didn't like that because I thought he looked like 4 legs, but seeing it combined and Mixmaster is different, I'm like, okay, 1 leg having that look is fine.
Yeah, I like this. I like what we're seeing here. Yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah. let's move on to Cang Toys, the
newest entrant,
the newest entrance into this whole shebang. And this is all we got. This is going to push it past Dreamstar, I think. Looking at these outlines.
Yes.
And I think you're in for this and the gold version and the silver version and the yellow version and the orange version. And why not throw a blue one in there as well? I could see you getting all those.
The good thing about this, with there being so many different versions, or so many companies doing it, if there's a company that does it and I like the way it looks, then I can go in and get the different colors of it. But if there's one that I don't necessarily like, I don't have to feel obligated to get it in all those colors because there's another company that's doing it. So,
well, the only one doing multiple colors right now is X-Transbots, and you like them, so you'll be getting the colors.
Yes, but if somebody else does an orange, like if Dreamstar did an orange, or something like that, then I can possibly opt for that if I like it more than the X-Transbots, or if Fans Toys does a yellow, or something else.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. You don't have the name Bobby the Bot for nothing.
Yeah, these look really good though, and yeah, this is weird how
I'm interested.
It is, and they only show 5 of the alt modes,
but there's 6 bots.
So I'm
I just don't think they showed one, probably because they ran out of space. I mean, you can't see much from this.
You can't, but I'm still, just trying to kind of get an idea of, how everybody's gonna look. I mean, Scavenger looks in his alt mode looks like it's a huge shovel there, and it almost looks like a dragon or something like that. But yeah, I am curious to see this. It looks like Hook has 8 wheels as well. I can't tell which one's on the left of him, but it looks like there's treads in the front. It almost looks like a sled. Almost looks like a sled. So I'm curious to see what that is. So yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what Cang Toys does as well.
Yeah,
for vehicles. That's what I was trying to say. So we'll see.
Yes.
Can't leave out Hasbro. Bone Crusher.
I like the alt mode.
Oh, he's picking them up for alt modes.
No. I like the alt mode. The bot mode is okay. It's very reminiscent of the G1 to me, which is good.
Yeah.
It goes back to the you don't like Bone Crusher conversation.
Well, yes, but also I don't like the arms. He looks very short and stubby. I did choose these in-hand images because I think it does a better job showing off the character than the renders, because they do look 100 times better with these in-hand images. It's okay. This is what like how I said MMC. If you told me that was Hasbro, if you showed me this was Hasbro, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this isn't anything more than I would expect them to do.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad figure. It looks like a Hasbro figure, as we mentioned.
Exactly. Scrapper does look better. Now he is Voyager, but he comes with that big gun. But those gaps behind his hand are just crazy. But they couldn't add a flap or something. But that's something we've been dealing with Hasbro for a while, so I'm not going to harp on it. Again, it's fine.
I like the silver legs. I think those
you like them thighs.
I like them thighs. Yeah, it's very reminiscent of G1. I think they did a good job with this. The alt mode looks fine. It's a little blocky, but it's fine. Bot mode, I think, is where it's at in this.
Yeah, it's fine. Like most of Hasbro stuff. They did say that they're going to try to get it out by next year, or this year, if you guys are watching this in 2025, which is cool.
Yeah. We see a deluxe and a Voyager, and then 2 Voyagers.
Commanders. But it's a Commander class box.
Yeah. And they said that they're going to make it available. They're going to, you don't have to worry about running out. This is going to be available, which is very good. I mean, that's what I need to see if I was picking this set up. I think I'm going to pass on this set, though. I think I like my Combiner Wars better. I also think that I don't know what the size is going to be like on these, but I liked the size of the Combiner Wars Devastator. Excuse me.
This is like 12 inches tall.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I just didn't know for sure.
Because here he is next to Minosaur.
Yeah, that's what I didn't like.
What I don't like about this are the 2 gaping holes behind that, and in his chest behind the wings. That's what I was trying to say. I really don't like that. Again, it's a prototype. Maybe there's something that flips out and they just didn't have the parts or it fell off. Who knows? But this is what we have to go on for now. I really don't like that. I also don't like that the legs are offset. Do you see it? They're like...
it looks like it's shifted to the outside.
Yeah, instead of being like in the center. I don't know why. I just noticed that, and it's kind of throwing me off. I also don't like that Prime can't hold his gun straight, but I know that's not a problem with the figure itself.
They should have just took the gun out of Prime's hand.
I'm just joking. That was a joke. I understand. They're doing this live. They probably hit it or whatever. I'm gonna shoot my. They are way too small, even with that Prime, in my eyes.
Yeah. This is.
Go on. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say this is not the set that I was hoping we would get from the Studio series. And maybe that's what it is. I think I expected more from the Studio series versus just their mainline Transformers. This wasn't the 86 Devastator I was hoping we'd get. Again, it looks good for the most part. I just wanted it to be bigger. I was hoping it would be, kind of Combiner War size. And silly.
I mean, I think if they made them old Voyager size, so they were, going to Prime's shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think this would be a much more bigger, imposing bot. Yeah, I mean, I think they were going to make all the combiners the same size.
Yeah,
because it looks like Superion's the same size as well. It's fine. It's not what I want. It's not what I'll get either. So, but I could see why somebody would get it. But what's crazy to me is they gave him opening hands, but Menosaur and Superion just have solid fists. At that size, I would expect some sort of opening hand, so I'm glad they at least gave it to Devastator. I mean, he is probably going to be $100 more, but still.
Well, and I think, again, probably why I'm out on the Hasbro combiners is because I wanted them to be bigger, and we're just not. I gave up that dream when I got the Minosaur. So I think this is a good set, especially if you're collecting Hasbro. It's a good set. I just don't think it's going to fit into where I'm going with my collection now.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, let us know what you think below. And the last one, those are all the people that are officially in it. Vectron Labs, I don't know if they're in the war still, but their website's still up. So they showed off Scrapper. It's outclassed at this point.
I think this Scrapper and looks good. The alt mode looks good. I was very pleased. I was very pleased at what they were trying to do here. It looked very good, and I was like, "Oh, they're coming." and then it was like, well, they're supposedly coming. You know,
and then it was like, oh well, they're not coming to TFCon that they said they were going to.
Yeah, this is. I don't know. They did a lot. Their figures were going to be pretty expensive, and
yes. So from a Bobby Skullface interview with one of the designers, which you could go look up, they wanted, I think, $300 per figure, and they were going to be almost completely die-cast.
Yeah.
Think about how that would hold up on a shelf. 6 10-inch tall die-cast figures combined. I don't think that would hold up very well.
You put them on. They have to go on the bottom shelf. That's all that is.
No, I don't think they'd stand up well. I don't think the joints would hold it up.
I don't. Yeah, who knows?
You'd have to get like locking mechanisms. So, you know what I mean? So that you couldn't bend down. So
I mean, not X-Transbots. I believe it was X-Transbots on their Minosaur. They actually had a little key, like you put the arm in, and then you turn it, and it's like a key that locks it in. But
does it still move freely?
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, what I'm saying is they'd have to have little keys for every single joint.
Yeah.
if it's completely die-cast from the bottom of its foot to the top of its head.
Yeah, that's
and it'd be like 900 pounds.
No, I think this is the set that I am happy for, because I don't have to worry about getting it, at least right now. So my wallet loves Vectron Labs.
Here's the combine mode. It looks fine.
Yeah.
I don't understand how it transforms looking at it. It doesn't look like it transforms. It looks like this is just a different model.
YOLO Park.
But, you know, it is what it is.
Maybe they're behind blockies. Who knows? You know, this is something that got people excited and probably even kicked off what we thought was going to be the Combiner Wars.
Devastator Wars.
I keep saying Combiner Wars, Devastator Wars. And they just became a casualty immediately. And
I think it was an internal casualty.
Definitely internal casualty.
It wasn't because fans didn't like it.
Yeah, I think fans were actually really looking forward to it. At least
there was a lot of buzz about these.
Yeah.
So, you know, and they were going to do a Megatron as well. Well, whatever. Let us know what you think below. That is all the people that are currently participating in the Devastator War. Stay tuned for when Fans Hobby comes out with their Devastator. That Bobby will buy as well. And who else? Who else will make one?
I'm not even saying anything because I'm not gonna speak it into existence. It's gonna be a Bot versus Con Devastator coming out. That's where we're going with this.
That's how many there are. TFC already. They're gonna do Hercules 2.0, and it's gonna be in GI Joe styling, like the one that we saw. Oh, you'd buy that. Let's see who else.
You got
looking around.
Toys Easy.
Oh my god! World War II Devastator. You'd be picking that up too.
Star Toys. Zeta.
Yeah. See, you're gonna.
DX9,
well, Zeta's technically Toy World. So
DX9 are gonna come back out.
Toys.
Unique Toys.
Oh, you're gonna have a Devastator room when all they come out. All of those companies come out with
these Devastators are gonna be paying bills, or at least taking the trash out or washing dishes or something.
You're literally gonna have like 2 shelves full of Devastators.
It'll be that's putting it lightly.
Oh, you think you're gonna have 3?
Well, I'm trying to figure. I think it's gonna be cases because my current case.
I meant 2 cases full. Sorry, I meant shelves, like the whole unit.
Oh, okay.
No. You can't have 2 shelves. You're gonna have like 2 cases full of these.
It's going to be very interesting.
And he's not even your favorite combiner.
He's not my favorite combiner at all. Not
by a long shot.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he breaks top 5.
I'd agree with you. And the only reason why I'm getting Mecha Invasion is because it's different. So.
Yeah. I mean, you know, this is what I'll say. Salute to all these companies making it interesting and making it fun for fans to figure out, and giving us 2 something to talk about and to share. And I think that this is going to be a fun journey. Hopefully you all stay along and come on this journey with us as we go through all these different Devastators. Currently, I have X-Transbots, Fans Toys, Mecha Invasion, and Dreamstar. So that's at least something that we can help kick you off on the right road with.
You only don't have the other ones because they haven't came out.
Exactly. So
stay tuned. He'll have all of them except for Hasbro. I think that's the one he won't have.
Yeah. I'm not gonna even say anything. Yeah, I just won't have Hasbro.
All right. Well, let us know which one you're thinking about getting down below, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Yes, as always, till all debates are won, and we'll see where these Devastator wars take us.